Good morning, students. I hope you all are doing well. My name is Kanika. Today in computer science, we are going to study chapter 4 Introduction to Problem Solving from your NCERT book. In this chapter, we are going to discuss what do you mean by problem solving, what are certain steps involved in problem solving, how do you write in algorithms, what are different ways, and much more. So let's begin. For Introduction to Problem Solving. Today, computers are all around us. We use them for doing various tasks in faster and more accurate manner. We are using computers in our daily life everywhere, whether we are using them as a computer or a smartphone, or we can use them for performing various tasks such as booking ticket online or online shopping, etc. So in this introduction part, they are just telling you how computers can be used in our day-to-day life nowadays. We use the term computerization to indicate the use of computer to develop software in order to automate any routine human task efficiently. So how does a computer perform certain tasks? Computer perform a certain task by performing a specific function. And how a computer can perform a specific function? By using a software. We have learned that software is a set of instructions that are designed to do a certain task. So for booking an online ticket, we have a specific software for that. So what do you mean by computerization? Computerization means when we are converting our human problems, or when we are converting some human task using computers. So that is done by software. For example, if we take the example of train ticket booking. So what in earlier time, what we have to do, we have to visit the train ticket booth physically and have to book our ticket. But nowadays we can book our tickets at the comfort of our home or offices. So this is done by how we are using computer, and computer is able to do so by developing a software particularly for that task. Computers are used for solving various day-to-day problems. For example, in lockdown situation, we are not able, in initial days, we were not able to go outside and buy our groceries and necessary items. So there were certain apps which were delivering that things to us, and many much such more examples we have seen in the current lockdown. For example, your education or the schooling is going online. So computer is solving our day-to-day problem. Thus, problem solving is an essential skill that a computer science student should know. So a precise step-by-step instruction should be given us to solve a problem. Now, if I have identified a problem, so we need to go step by step to solve a problem. Okay, so the success of a computer in solving a problem depends on how correctly and precisely we define the problem, design a solution, and implement the solution using a programming language. So how a computer will be successful? For example, let us take one example throughout the chapter, that is booking a train ticket. So if I want to, there was a problem that I want to book a train ticket without going to the ticket booth. So there was this problem. So how I correctly and precisely I define the problem. The problem was to book a ticket. Then we are designing a solution. What is the solution? That we can design a software in such a manner in which using internet we can book tickets, and implementing the solution. Implementing means designing that program by coding, by using a programming language. Thus, what is the definition of problem solving? Problem solving is the process of identifying a problem. Identifying a problem means उस problem को पहचानना. Developing an algorithm, उस problem के लिए एक algo design करना. Algo we will be studying in detail. Basically, algo is how you are going to proceed to solve that problem for the identified problem. And finally, implementing means उसको आप कैसे अपने उसको रियल लाइफ कैसे उसको कर रहे हो, उसको इम्प्लीमेंट कर रहे हो, राइट? The algorithm to develop a computer program. So this is problem solving. Problem solving has three parts, that is identifying क्या प्रॉब्लम है, डेवलपिंग एन एल्गोरिथम्स उसका स्टेप बाय स्टेप डिजाइन करना, एंड देन इम्प्लीमेंटेशन, दैट मीन्स उसको लागू करना, चालू करना उसको. This is problem solving. Now steps for problem solving. So here you can see this, for example, if there is a problem in the car, okay, so you take the car to the mechanic. So he said, what are the problem you are facing? क्या problem आ रही है? से इसमें ऐसी आवाज़ आ रही है, ऐसा वो कुछ हो रहा है, ऐसा इसमें कुछ लीकेज हो रही है. So you don't directly tell the problem, you एनालाइज दी प्रॉब्लम. आपने एनालाइज करा कि इसमें ऐसी आवाज़ आ रही है, इसमें ये लीकेज हो रही है. फिर जो मैकेनिक है वो उसको उसको स्टडी करेगा कि ऐसी आवाज़ इस वाले पार्ट से आ रही है, इधर से आ रही है, तो हो सकता है ये वाला पार्ट खराब है, सो वी नीड टू चेंज दिस प्रॉब्लम, और वो आपको चेंज करके दे देता है. Similarly in programming, for solving any problem in computer science, whatever software or whatever problem we have to solve, we take everything as a problem. Okay, so how we are going to what are the steps which we need to follow for problem solving? You can see in this diagram. First is analyzing the problem. Analyze करो problem को कि problem है क्या. Second is developing an algorithm. Design an algorithm that is step by step follow up that what you need to do. Third is doing the coding part. Algorithm is also step by step in your own language, in your natural language, like in English, Hindi, Japanese. You just design what you want to do. Then you convert it into coding. What is coding? Coding is giving a source code or giving a set of instructions to the computer by using any programming language, and then you test and debugging. Testing and debugging means you find any error or you check whether the coding which you have done is performing correctly or not. So this diagram is very important. You can get a direct question on this problem solving. So problem solving begins with the precise identification of the problem. Precise identification, उस problem को identify करना कि problem है क्या, and ends with a complete working solution. और कैसे complete होती है? आपके पास पूरा complete working solution होना चाहिए with आपने उसकी coding कर दी perform और उसको test तक कर लिया to in terms of a program or a software. So this is how you deal with the problem in computer science. So first now we are going to study these 4 steps one by one. First is analyzing the problem. Now what do you mean by analyzing the problem? Means clearly understanding a problem. Okay, I am reading just the highlighted part, but that does not mean that you don't need to read the complete chapter. आपको पूरा chapter read करना है, and ये just मैं highlighted points आपको बता रही हूँ because I have to complete this chapter in a limited period of time. But you all students need to read the complete chapter. Okay, so as I follow, analyzing the problem means clearly understanding the problem. So we need to read and analyze the problem statement carefully in order to list the principal components of the problem and decide the core functionalities that our solution should have. So we need to read and analyze the problem. हमें समझना होगा problem को कि problem है क्या. Why we need to understand the problem? So that our output is desired. जो हमें चाहिए वही हमें output मिले. So our first step is to read and analyze the problem carefully. To list the principal components of the problem. Principal components, the main components of the problem, and decide the core functionalities. Core functionality means you need to decide what functionalities you are going to provide that our solution should have. For example, अगर आप ऑनलाइन टिकट बुकिंग का बना रहे हैं एक सॉफ्टवेयर, so obviously आपको उसमें डिसाइड करना होगा कि मेरे को एक ऑनलाइन पेमेंट प्रोवाइड करनी पड़ेगी. अब ऑनलाइन पेमेंट आई कैन प्रोवाइड बाय यूजिंग पेटीएम, or I can use direct banking, or I can use any other e-wallet. So you need to decide these core functionalities that how you are going to enable the booking of tickets. क्योंकि आप फ्री में तो टिकट दोगे नहीं, आपको मनी ट्रांजेक्शन दिखानी होगी. So this is one of the core functionality. Second, आप उनको सीट कैसे दिखाओगे कि ये सीट अवेलेबल है, ये सीट अवेलेबल नहीं है. So these are the points which you need to analyze before the problem solving. Next is developing an algorithm. What is an algorithm? The solution is represented in the natural language. Natural language means any of the language which is understood by human beings, whether it be Hindi, English, Punjabi. But as our study of medium is English, so we are going to design certain algorithms also in English language. So an algorithm, as you can see in the box, it is a set of exact steps which when followed solve the problem. It is certain steps जो आपको exactly बताते हैं कि अगर आप इन steps को follow करोगे, so you will receive or you will solve the problem and your required task will be solved. For example, if you want to cook something, so you go online and check for the recipe. तो अगर आप उसके steps equally follow करोगे, for example steps for making tea, so आप उसको exactly follow करोगे, so you will be able to get टी. बट आप उसके स्टेप्स ऊपर नीचे कर दोगे या कोई स्टेप मिस कर दोगे, कोई स्टेप अपने आप से ऐड कर दोगे, तो ऑब्वियसली द एंड रिजल्ट विल नॉट बी टी. सो बेसिकली एल्गोरिथम में स्टेप बाय स्टेप डेफिनेशन ऑफ व्हाट यू वांट टू डू. नेक्स्ट कम्स कोडिंग. नाउ व्हाट इज कोडिंग? So after finalizing the algorithm, we need to convert the algorithm into the format which can be understood by the computer to generate desired solution. As we have studied earlier that in the algorithm, that algorithm is in natural language, that is the language which is understood by humans, but computer cannot understand the language of humans. So we need to convert that algorithm into coding by using any level programming languages, say Python, C, C++, Java, any of the language which you want to use. So it is so that computer is able to understand and give you the desired solution. Next come testing and debugging, that is the program should meet the requirements of the user. It must respond within the expected time. It should generate correct output. Now when you are done with your coding part, आपका software बन गया जो ticket book करेगा online. Now you want to test it. Obviously you will check whether the software is working properly or not. So you're going to check for the response time. That means response time means अगर मैंने उस पर टिकट बुक करनी स्टार्ट करी है, राइट, तो वो मुझे कितने टाइम बाद में रिजल्ट दे रहा है, कितने टाइम में रिजल्ट दे रहा है, ज़्यादा टाइम तो नहीं ले रहा, कम टाइम तो नहीं ले रहा, सही रिजल्ट दे रहा है, करेक्ट आउटपुट जनरेट कर रहा है, जो मैं उसको दे रहा हूँ उसके अकॉर्डिंग आउटपुट जो मेरे को एक्सपेक्टेड आउटपुट है वो मेरा आ रहा है, और किसी तरीके की उसमें सिंटैक्टिकल एरर्स नहीं हो रही है. सो यू नीड टू चेक ऑल दिस आफ्टर यू आर डिजाइन विद द software. So software industries follow standard testing methods. So there are certain testing methods which are used. You need not to go in detail, you just need to know their name. So there are various, these are such certain testing methods which are used, such as unit or component testing, integration testing, system testing, acceptance testing, while developing the complex application. When you are designing a whole software, so you need to test each and every module which you have made in the software. So these are certain standard testing methods which are used. Once the software application has been developed, tested and delivered to the user, still problem in terms of functioning can come up and need to be resolved. The maintenance of the solution thus involves fixing the problem. So once you are done, आपने अपनी तरफ से सब कुछ कर दिया, you have tested the software, but sometimes what happen when you start using the software, there are certain more problems which come. So maintenance is done. So what do you mean maintenance? उसको maintain करना बाद में कि किसी तरीके की problem ना आ रही हो. So you can so the user can contact the programmer who has developed the software. So maintenance is also an important part. Now we are going to study algorithm in detail. For example, here is an algorithm given for riding a bicycle. So remove the bicycle from the stand, sit on the seat of the bicycle, start pedaling, use brakes whenever needed, and stop on reaching the destination. So you see how instructions are very much clear. You need to press the brake. कब ब्रेक दबाना है? जब जरूरत हो. तो ये नहीं कि कभी भी आप ब्रेक दबा दो. You have to start pedaling. अगर वो सिर्फ बोल देता कि sit on the seat and go, but how to go? You have to pedal before going. So these are certain steps which you follow, then you will definitely able to ride a bicycle. So this is how algorithms work. Now here is another example for finding GCD. GCD is greatest common divisor. What is GCD? Is the largest number that divide both the given number. So we are here defining 45 and 56 GCD. So step 1 is find the numbers, divisors which can divide the given number. So you need to decide. So first what you have to do, you have to give divisors of 45 and 54. Step 2, then find the largest common number. You have to find the largest common number among them, and that number is 9. So it is how the algorithms work. But the question comes, why we need algorithms? जरूरत क्या algorithm लिखने की? सीधा कोड लिखो. Why to increase a step? But algorithms are required because the computer then follow the step written in the program code. Therefore, the programmers first prepare a roadmap of the program to be written before actually writing the code. कोड लिखने में बहुत एफर्ट लगते हैं, टाइम लगता है, रिसोर्सेज लगते हैं, मनी लगता है, एंड बहुत सारा आपका मेंटल एबिलिटी लगती है. सो यू जस्ट कांट सिट ऑन द कंप्यूटर एंड जस्ट स्टार्ट कोडिंग एंड देन थिंक. नो, बिफोर कोडिंग यू नीड टू हैव अ रोड मैप, ब्लूप्रिंट होना चाहिए आपके पास पहले से कि आपको क्या क्या करना है उसके अंदर. देन ओनली यू कैन प्रोसीड फॉर द कोडिंग, बिकॉज कोडिंग अपने आप में बहुत टाइम कंज्यूमिंग काम है और आप सिर्फ थिंकिंग और कोडिंग एक साथ नहीं कर सकते. यू हैव टू हैव अ ब्लूप्रिंट कि आपको पहले से क्या सॉफ्टवेयर डिजाइन करना है, एंड देन यू राइट द कोड. Without a roadmap, the programmer may not be able to clearly visualize the instructions to be written and may end up developing a program which may not work as expected. So you need to design a roadmap before. So the purpose of using an algorithm is to increase the reliability. Reliability means trustworthiness, accuracy, and efficiency. Now what do you mean by efficiency? Efficiency means achieving maximum productivity with minimum waste, effort, or expense. Because when you design a software for a company or for yourself, you have a certain time limit कि मुझे 3 महीने में, 6 महीने में, 1 साल में ये अपना सॉफ्टवेयर डिज़ाइन करना है, इसमें इतना पैसा लगेगा, इसमें ये हर चीज़ आपको डिफाइंड होती है. सो उस एफिशिएंसी को अचीव करने के लिए आप यू हैव टू हैव designed algorithm beforehand. Now what are the characteristics of good algorithm? It should be precise, that is steps are precisely stated or defined. Each step should be crystal clear that what you are going to do and how this coding will be performed. Next is uniqueness, that the result of each step are uniquely defined and only depend on the input and the result of the preceding steps. Uniqueness means जो आप उसमें कर रहे हो वही आंसर आपको आना चाहिए, राइट? ये नहीं कि मैं इनपुट, अगर मेरे को एडिशन परफॉर्म करना है 2 + 5 लेकिन मेरा आंसर आ रहा है 6, तो दिस इज नॉट द यूनिकनेस. जैसे मैं रिजल्ट चाहिए मुझे वैसे ही आना चाहिए. फाइनाइटनेस, दैट मीन्स देयर शुड बी फाइनाइट, लिमिटेड, काउंटेबल नंबर ऑफ स्टेप्स होने चाहिए. ऐसे नहीं आपका कोड चलता ही जा रहा है. सो इट शुड बी काउंटेबल नंबर ऑफ कोड्स. देन इनपुट ऑफ द एल्गोरिथम, there should be some input in the algorithm and there should be some output in the algorithm. Now while writing any algorithm, it is required to clearly identify the following. So you need to identify these things before writing an algorithm, that is input to be taken from the user. You have to define what kind of input you want, whether you want integer, whether you want string, whether you want a image, etc. So you need to specify the input. Then the processing, how you are going to process it and what you are going to process it and what is the output that is desired by the user. So if I am booking a railway ticket, so my input will be that I want my ticket for say 5th September and timing this to Mumbai. Then the processing should be done at the server end. That is not my part, but that is also written by the coder or the programmer, that how the processing will take place in the server, that वो check करेगा कि अच्छा इस दिन की कैसे है कैसे नहीं. तो algorithm should be defined for that. and output मेरे को मिलना चाहिए कि हाँ इस दिन की टिकट अवेलेबल कौन कौन से टाइम पे है and best price. अगर if I want the cheapest ticket तो वो आपको बताए. अगर मेरी डिमांड है कि मुझे 200 तक की टिकट चाहिए, 500 तक की टिकट चाहिए, तो वो मुझे उसके अकॉर्डिंग भी डेटा दिखाए. so this is the how what things should be kept in mind while writing an algorithm. Next is representation of algorithms, how you represent the algorithm. Okay, now there are basically two ways in which you can represent your algorithm, that is flowcharts and pseudocode. So first we are going to study about flowchart, but before that let's read these points. Either of the method can be used. You can use either flowchart or pseudocode as per your requirement, but you have to keep in mind the following things, that is it showcases the logic of the problem solution excluding any implementational details. So logic should be clear, whether you are using flowchart or pseudocode, आपका logic clear होना चाहिए कि आप क्या logic use कर रहे हो उस प्रोग्राम को लिखने के लिए. It clearly reveals the flow of control. Flow of control means इसके बाद ये step, उसके बाद ये step, इसके बाद ये step. Clear होना चाहिए कि किस step के बाद कौन सा step है during the execution of the program. So first we are going to study flowchart. Now flowchart, it is a visual representation of algorithm. Visual representation means pictorial representation. So it is a diagram. It is a diagram made up of boxes, diamonds and other shapes connected by arrows. Each shape represents a step of the solution process and the arrow represent the order or link among these steps. So हर एक आप इसके अंदर अलग अलग shape use करते हैं and each shape specifies a certain task to be performed. For example, you can see it is a very important thing to learn that how different shapes, what different shapes identify what. So first is start and end. So this shows that the algorithm has started or the algorithm has ended. Next is process. अब इसमें आपने process also called as action symbol and start and end is also called as terminator. It represents the process कि आप उसमें क्या काम कर रहे हो. Next is decision. Now decision is usually yes or no or true or false. You will understand these symbols in a better way when we discuss the examples in the coming pages. So when you require to make a decision, right? For example, if I am booking a ticket, मेरे को 5 सितंबर की बुक करनी है टिकट्स and I have 3 time slots. Okay, so I have to make a decision as a user that I will be taking a ticket for 10 a.m., 3 p.m. or 7 p.m. So I have to take a decision over there. So such kind of decision everyone takes. Or when you are shopping online, there also you are making some decision. For example, you're ordering a dress. So color or sizes. So these are the decisions which you are taking when you're working on any software. Then this symbol parallelogram is used for input output, for showing the kind of input and output used, and then arrows which shows the flow of the data कि कहाँ से data कहाँ जा रहा है. Now first example, let us understand. It is write an algorithm to find the square of a number. For example, if I give input 2, so output will be 4. If I give input 4, so the output will be 16. So I have to print the square. So before algorithm, let us first identify what is the input, output and process. So input, process and output is very much you need to keep in mind. So first is input, that is whose square is required. प्रोसेस क्या करना है, हमें मल्टीप्लाई करना है उसको अपने आप से. अगर मैंने 2 दिया तो 2 को 2 से मल्टीप्लाई करना है. एंड आउटपुट शुड बी स्क्वायर ऑफ द नंबर, उसका स्क्वायर होना चाहिए. सो दीज आर दी स्टेप्स. स्टेप 1 क्या है, इनपुट अ नंबर एंड स्टोर इट इनटू नम. आपने एक नम ऐसी एक वेरिएबल ले लिया, उसमें उस वेरिएबल को स्टोर कर दिया. जैसे मैंने सपोज दिया 4, तो उसको मैंने नम के अंदर स्टोर कर दिया 4 को. देन स्टेप 2, कम्यूट नम इनटू नम, दैट इज 4 into 4 एंड स्टोर इट इन स्क्वायर. तो मेरा दूसरा वेरिएबल मैंने लिया स्क्वायर और उसके अंदर उसको स्टोर कर दिया. 16 को किस में स्टोर कर दिया, स्क्वायर में. एंड देन आई प्रिंट स्क्वायर, सो माय आउटपुट विल बी 16. सो हाउ यू आर गोइंग टू शो दिस विद अ फ्लो चार्ट. You started the program. For start we have this oval. Then you have taken the input num, that is 4. Then you have processing part, that is square is equal to num into num. Then you have print. For output we have same parallelogram, and then we have stopped. So this is how you can depict your algorithm using a flow chart. Okay, so here we are going to discuss a flow chart to solve the problem of non-functioning light bulb. Where नॉन फंक्शनिंग जो बल्ब काम नहीं कर रहा है उसकी हम प्रॉब्लम को सॉल्व करने जा रहे हैं. सो स्टार्ट. इज द बल्ब स्विच्ड ऑन, बल्ब का स्विच ऑन है. अगर बल्ब का स्विच ऑन नहीं है तो उसको स्विच इट ऑन एंड स्विच इट ऑन. स्विच इट ऑन करने के बाद अब यहाँ पे यू कैन सी वी हैव यूज्ड अ डायमंड. व्हाई वी हैव यूज्ड अ डायमंड, बिकॉज वी आर मेकिंग अ डिसीजन ऑफ येस और नो. सो व्हेन वी हैव टू मेक अ डिसीजन वी आर गोइंग टू यूज द डायमंड. So start, is the bulb switched on? No, the bulb is switched on, not switched on. So switch on the bulb. Then you will check, make another decision whether the bulb is on or not. So we can say that bulb is on. Yes, bulb is on, so you can stop. But what happens? Is the bulb switched on? No. But we can say that bulb is not on. Bulb is not on. So you can go, is it burnt out? Is it burnt out means, is it problematic? Then no. If it is not, then call the electrician, and if it is yes, burnt out, then you can replace the bulb. So this tells you what steps you need to follow if your bulb is not functioning. So this is a flow chart to solve problem. So in real life you can use any of the problem which you are surrounded in, and you can convert that problem into a flow chart. Next comes the pseudocode. It is also a type of writing the algorithm. So it is a non-formal language that helps programmers to write the algorithm. It is detailed description of instructions that a computer must follow in a particular order. So you use English language and English instructions to tell what to do. So here are certain commands. So the word pseudo means not real, which is not real. So here are certain commands which are being mostly used in writing a keyword. These are basically the keywords which are used for writing the pseudocode. So let us see an example. So write algorithm to display the sum of two numbers entered by using both pseudocode and flowchart. So first we have used a pseudocode. So we have taken input num1, input num2. So if I have given input 4 and 10, compute result 4 plus 10 14, print result. Now 4 plus 10 has been stored in which variable, result, and then you are printing the variable result. The flowchart for this algorithm is given in this figure. Now according to the flowchart you start by using the oval box, then read num1 and num2. These are inputs, so we have used parallelogram. Then we have done the processing in square, then we have printed out in parallelogram, and again using the oval one we have stopped. So this is how you can use a flowchart. So here are certain examples of flowcharts given in your book. You can go through them and they can definitely be asked in your exam. They are very important. Direct 3 or 4 marks का question आता है, draw the flowchart. So these are very important. There are so many examples given in a book. Go through each of them, understand them, and if in any doubt, we will discuss in the doubt session. So what is the benefit of pseudocode? Before writing codes in high level language, pseudocode helps in representing the basic functionality. So it is basically an algorithm. It is a way of designing an algorithm. So the benefits are similar. By writing the first in human readable language, the program safeguards against leaving out any important steps. So it safeguards the programmer that all the important steps are included and कोई important step आपका छूटा नहीं है. Okay. Next comes the flow of control. Now flow of control depicts the flow of events as represented in the flow chart. Flow chart you can see it is in the form of diagram which shows इस step के बाद क्या करना है, अगर ऐसा नहीं है तो ऐसा करना है. So it shows you flow of events. So how it can be showed? It can be based on two concepts, that is the event can flow in a sequence or in branch manner. Sequence में हो सकता है one after the another, or in branch, that if this is not then this is the case, or you can jump to some other step. So first is sequence. Now sequence, in what happens in sequence, such algorithm where all the steps are executed one after the another, as you can see in this flow chart, right? This flow chart of calculating the perimeter of rectangle and area and perimeter of a rectangle. So one step is followed by another step. So this is the sequence which is being followed. Next is selection. Now let us understand selection with an example. For example, if you have to go to school, okay, so what this example talks about, for example, you have to go to school from your home. So there are many roads which lead from your home to school. There are many ways, there are many streets and many ways to go. But what way you will choose? You will choose the one which takes less time and is clean one, and which takes less time. So this is how you will choose the lane which you are going to use for going from home to school. So this is what you are doing. You are making a decision कि आपके पास 4-5 केसेस दे रखे हैं कि स्कूल से घर पहुंचने के, घर से स्कूल पहुंचने के आपके पास ये 5-6 रास्ते हैं. So which are you going to use? You are going to use the one which is taking less time and the street is clean for your commutation. So this is what is called as decision making. So there are certain examples. First is taking the eligibility for voting. ये भी आप decision making है कि अगर 18, if you are greater than 18 years, then you are eligible to vote. If you are less than 18, then you are not eligible to vote. So there are certain examples of decision making given. So there is a condition. So if it is true, do this. If it is false, do this. So this is an example of situation. Now let us see an example. So write an algorithm to check whether a number is odd or even. So here is a pseudocode. Print, enter the number. Input number. For example, my input is 204. If number modulus 2, modulus means remainder. If I divide 204 by 2, then I get 0. That means the number is even. Else print number is odd. Okay. So this is how condition work. If I try to depict that in the pseudocode, in the flow chart, this is how it works. Start, you take the input of number 1, you divide the number by 2, and if the remainder is 0, if number is divided by 2 and the remainder is 0, so yes, that means it is print even, and no, that means it is an odd number, so print an odd. So this is how you can use conditions in your flow chart. Here is another example to check whether you are a teenager, child or adult. Please go through it on yourself, and if you have any doubt in these examples, you can ask me in the doubt class. Next example is algorithm for card game called Dragons and Wizards. So there are certain rules given over here. Please go through them, and if you have any doubt, please feel free to ask me in the next doubt session. So we will stop the chapter here. So this was all about this tutorial. I hope you have understood what we have discussed till now. The next part of the chapter will be covered in the next tutorial. If you have any doubt, please feel free to ask me. You can comment down your doubts in the comment box, or you can directly ask me your doubts in the doubt session. Please read this chapter thoroughly, do the examples, understand the flow charts, and please perform some of the flowcharts on your own and ask me any doubt you are facing in that. Also start doing the back exercise of this chapter, as it will help you in your half yearly exams. Thank you.